4. Aloha and welcome to these very special episodes of Experts and Idiots. This are the second 2 parts of our double, the flipped interview. Our friend Cajun Chaos, the indestructible chili head and bodybuilder, decided he'd like to jack me with the help of these various chili companies from the United Kingdom, Germany and Poland. So he collected some heavy shit together, sent it to me, and then fucking dosed me and interviewed me. Here's the result, the last parts. Enjoy.
All animals with higher functions in their brains, I'm dying here, use drugs. It's a relaxed function of the brain. So, number 1, they need to know how to use them responsibly. Number 2, those drugs, they need to be safe as possible. That means they need to be checked and regulated and come from regulated bodies. And that can only happen if all drugs are legalized or minimum decriminalized. My eyes are fucked. Oh, I've got burning eyes. Oh, Jesus. So, in answer to your question, what do I think about the legalization of other drugs apart from cannabis? I am slightly annoyed with people who think that the drug issue is just about any single drug. It is not. It's about drugs generally. It's a public health issue, and therefore the only way to handle it is full legalization of all drugs, placed in a controlled environment where people are safe to use them. Oh, dude, this is a challenge. Where people are safe to use them, and where if they are using them irresponsibly or incorrectly, there are people who will see that. So they're in contact with people who will see that. So, yes, I believe all drugs should be legalized because I believe in the health of our society. That's my answer.
So, if you were to look at like the UK, marijuana in the UK is decriminalized. I don't know if it's recreationally legal yet, but I do know it's decriminalized.
Yeah. For medical use, yeah.
But like if you look at professional enhancing drugs, PEDs, steroids, gear, whatever you want to call it, it's 100% legal in the UK. Because it's manufactured in a controlled environment. They know it's pure. They know it's not tainted. It's not something somebody made in their bathtub in a crack house.
Yeah.
People know what they're getting. Me as a bodybuilder, I don't care if you're on drugs, if you're not on drugs. At one point I was. I'm not anymore. Who cares? It's beside the point. My whole point is, if it is from a trusted source, it's really hard to concentrate to talk. If it's from a trusted source and you know how to use it correctly, why not make it legal?
I couldn't agree more. And when it comes to sports, and we're in that realm of drug use, so there's 2 issues, isn't there? There's the issue that people could feel pressure to use those drugs in order to compete, where they would maybe have done it before. And there's, fuck me, excuse me. I've always said the same thing about performance-enhancing drugs in sport. All sports should have 2 categories. Like in bodybuilding, you've got natural, and then you've got the other category, yeah?
Open, yeah.
Yeah, and when you go natural, that means no one's doing the drugs. And when you go into the other category, that means everyone's doing the drugs. And if you divide all sports into those 2 categories, people can then choose without pressure, do I want to go in the one which is about my physical ability without drugs, or do I want to go in the one which is about what my body can do with drugs?
So,
And that's where it removes the pressure. I don't have enough knowledge about tests and growth hormone and the other performance enhancing drugs to be able to say too much about them. But what I do know is I know plenty of people who use performance enhancing drugs in a very responsible way. I know a number of people who are not sports professionals who use black market steroids in order to, achieve their goals of how they want to be, And I know people who've done that for many, many decades who are extremely healthy and who have managed to do so in an intelligent and a correct way. I'd say the same applies to all drugs. Remove the illegality, and then you can focus on the health of the thing. Some drugs are so unhealthy that you really need a medical professional somewhere near you and following your processes if you're going to use it. On the performance enhancing side, I'm certainly sure that when you crash off of performance enhancing drugs as you get older and your testosterone levels and the hormone levels need to be balanced out by a professional, that's dangerous, So therefore, it should be legal so that people can get that help and therefore they're healthy as possible. And on the illegal drug side of things, there's drugs out there that are super dangerous, and if you start fucking with them, you're really taking risks. And if you wish to take that risk, great, it's up to you. But then if you're going to, for example, there's a drug which in Russia, it's a Russian drug which is on the street called crocodile. It's otherwise known as 3-month crocodile or crocodile in English. It's a refined iodine substance. And the reason it's got the nickname 3-month is that when you shoot that into you, it's called crocodile because it makes the skin around where you shoot up look like the skin on a crocodile, And the reason it does that is because the iodine is rotting your flesh. And they call it 3-month because that's pretty much what you've got. The minute you start banging that stuff in your arms or whatever, then you're not going to last longer than 3 months, You're going to end up with your rotting flesh falling off your body. Now, this is not a good drug, and this is not a drug that I would personally want to take or recommend to anyone that would be a good idea to take. However, this is a drug which people take because they're desperately poor, because they're desperately nihilistic. They've got nothing to look forward to, and they're very depressed, and they've got nothing to hold on to. And so, therefore, they turn to this horrible drug, which is very cheap, which is essentially to kill themselves with. And at that point, if that drug was legal and they had to go to a controlled point to buy that drug, where the kind of medical professionals who would need to, number one, show someone how to care for themselves correctly or as best they can when they take a horrible drug like that, and make sure that they can shoot it up in the best possible way for that awful thing. But most importantly, there should be a psychiatrist sitting there. And before they can buy that drug, they should have to go and have a chat with that psychiatrist.
Because some sort of evaluation,
mostly those people, they need some psychiatric support. That's why they want to take that drug, And then put them in a room with a psychiatrist. Let's have a look. Are they suicidal? Do they need antidepressant medication? Do they need some care in a hospital? All of those options would be available, and potentially, let's say we can enforce them on the person, So maybe some guy comes, he wants to do some crocodile because he never did it and he wants to see what it's like. Bam, that's his reason. And there's another guy who comes, he wants to do some crocodile because his wife just died, he's lost his children, he's lost his job, he's now homeless, and he's completely lost in the world, So that guy shouldn't be given some crocodile. That guy should be given a little bit of help with his housing, a psychiatrist to talk to about his wife dying, someone to help him with his grief and his bereavement. He shouldn't be given a bag of crocodile. But the guy who walks in and says, I just fancy doing some crocodile. All right. Well, maybe it's the wrong decision. Maybe it's a bad decision. But it's not a decision based on Maybe it's based on stupidity, but it's not based on a
Emotion,
desire
yeah.
to kill yourself, you know. So yeah, I apply the same to all of those things. Dude, that 9 million is fucking hardcore. Jesus Christ.
So
I'm
there's this
astonished.
there's a bodybuilding podcast that I listen to, and they're really big into legalizing steroids, controlled, made in a lab. You know what it is, like that.
Yeah.
And they were talking yesterday, and the one I was listening to, it was like, if you look at the Olympics, that is peak human performance, natural. Like, that is what humans can achieve naturally. And his entire thought was, no, we need to have the natural Olympics and then the steroid Olympics to see how far we can push this fucking machine.
Yeah, man. And I tell you something, my dear friend Cajun Chaos, and this might be an interesting place to end on, I guess, for the evening. I bet you that if there was two different Olympics that people could watch, the doped Olympics and the non-doped Olympics, I'm fucking sure 80% of the people are going to watch the doped Olympics.
Oh,
Sure.
yes, most definitely. I'm watching people throw the javelin 900 meters. Like,
I miss it. I mean, when you look back, for example, at sports which it require extreme physical musculature, you know, you jump back to the old days where you go to the, let's say the wrestling federations, for example,
right.
WWF of my childhood, these ridiculous looking, unbelievable things that people turn themselves into. Be it good, be it bad, what you want to call it. I enjoy looking at people who choose to modify their bodies in whichever way they choose to, be it tattoos or piercings or pumping iron or jogging a lot or whatever. I just like to see what people choose to do with their bodies, you know. It's a sculpture. It's like a David-like sculpture, you know what I mean? So I'm personally, I'm not saying I'm not promoting the use of any form of drug, but I am promoting the idea that humans will naturally use drugs and we shouldn't fuck around with each other because of it. You know, that's natural. And that humans require to have a safe environment to do that.
Yep.
That would be me. Yeah. I guess it's a ciao for now on that one, eh? Dude, you burnt my fucking face up. You really did.
Look, this shit, like, I'm over here, my fucking pecs are just going crazy and I cannot control them.
It's my eyes. I've got the water from my nose in my eyes, and that's what's causing me the biggest jip right now. But Ostronozy, Chili Viking, of course, our dear friends, not that spicy, the wonderful Dr. Bernorium, and of course, the crazy bastards from Berlin. Thank you all for all of your lovely input today. From me and from this sadistic motherfucker you can see over here, I guess we say goodbye for now. Ciao for now, everyone. Ciao. Oh, dude. Oh, that 9 million stuff is fucking deadly.
Yeah.